Sports Blitz Live is on the air with full coverage of the Auburn Tigers,
Touchdown, Auburn!
the Alabama Crimson Tide,
Off to the inside, intercepted Alabama. Touchdown!
and everything college and high school sports. Now, let's join Andy, Brett, Randy, and Luke for this edition of Sports Blitz Live.
Good Saturday morning to you, and welcome into the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. We are glad that you've joined us here to get your Saturday morning started. A little brisk outside, but going to be really, really nice today.
Yeah, a little chilly when I walked out a few minutes ago.
That's right. A little brisk. There's nothing wrong with that.
No,
It's spring.
I know it.
Look, you'll flip a switch and it'll be 90% humidity and 85 degrees at 7 o'clock in the morning.
In 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So enjoy the little bit of coolness in the morning because it gets warm on up in the day. So,
Oh, yeah, it'll be nice today.
well, this time of year, coming down the stretch in spring sports in high school, and again, we'll run down the AHSAA baseball poll for all you baseball fans out there. Soccer's coming down, softball's coming down, tennis and golf, and everything's coming down to the ends. Hard to believe, man. We're just, I know for all you senior parents out there, just about a month and a half away from graduation.
I know it.
Well, the years just go by faster and faster, don't they?
Tell me about it.
and then I think proms are going on. I think prom is in Alex City today. So it's been going on for the last 2 or 3 weeks in other communities. So it's that time of year. And, man, there's a lot to talk about today, man. I don't know where to start. A lot of things happening last night. The women's Final Four, namely, to start. And that tells you where that sport has gone. This has been a very exciting women's tournament. You got the Final Four men's tonight. You got another Alabama team in it at the University of Alabama. In the Final Four, we got a local story in Clark James.
That's right.
From Horseshoe Bend High School that is on the team. And, man, he's in every picture. He's in every video.
He's living a dream.
He is right there. I mean, I saw where Devin Booker brought shoes to the whole team yesterday.
He got a pair.
I mean, he's he's part of the team.
I know.
I mean, and here's the thing. He worked to get to where he's gotten. I mean, the time he's put in the film room, all the things we've heard about what Coach Oates says about him and his work, kind of jumped the team.
Got back halfway through the season, just got all over the team and said, y'all see that guy over there? You got to be like him.
That's
Clark
it.
James.
Well, you know what?
I trained him in basketball.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. I know you take a lot of credit.
I do. I take a lot of credit for his ability.
Mentor. He's had a lot of mentors.
He has.
Nate Oates was a high school math teacher 11 years ago. Mm-hmm. So he's you and I talked about this yesterday. He's very analytical.
Yep.
So he can appreciate the guy in the film room that's putting the time in.
Right.
And doing the little things when everybody else may not be.
We saw a picture of him yesterday of Clark. He had on the Connecticut jersey.
Right, as a scout team player.
Right, because he guards Mark Sears. Whoever the guard is on the opposing team,
right,
that's Clark. He plays that role.
It's a pretty important role.
That's a huge role.
There was one thing I saw yesterday in the warm-ups, and the shoot around, every team gets time in their arena to shoot. It's not really an arena, it's a football stadium. Right. But, when you're shooting outside and the ball kicks off, they've got trainers and managers to get the ball to kick it back in. Mm-hmm. Well, Clark shot and he missed one. Well, he outran the manager to the corner to get the ball to kick it back in.
Right.
Again, I noticed that.
Right.
Little things that, hey, you're like, man, this means everything to me. I want to do everything I can.
That young man has loved basketball since he was old enough to even touch a basketball.
Right.
When he was 6 years old, he was out there dribbling between his legs on the street over at the house, and he's a good ball player.
Yeah, good high school player too. Yeah. Scored over 1,000 points in his career.
Right.
Just a really, really good young man. He's friends with both our sons, and so again, like many Auburn fans have said, we're really pulling for Clark. No, maybe not so much for Alabama as a whole from us over here in the side of the state. It's kind of like what Dan Patrick asked Bruce Pearl the other day.
I know you mentioned the girls' game, how it's become, how big it is.
Right.
The average ticket they said last night was $416.
Amazing.
For and it was packed.
Oh, it was sold out.
Sold out.
I mean,
$416.
Cleveland, Ohio is where the women's Final Four is. Phoenix is where the men's Final Four will take on tonight.
Right.
Well, we know the national championship game in women's is Iowa versus South Carolina. I think that's who everybody wanted to see. Or for the most part, I mean, I think a lot of people wanted. You couldn't get LSU Iowa rematch because they had to play each other in the Elite Eight. They were in the same side. So you had UConn, who's been outstanding, 33-4 on the season.
With 5 players that got hurt that didn't play hardly at all. So 5 key players were off their team.
No, they only played 6 players last night.
Pretty much the entire year, they were down 5 players.
You know, that's one thing you and I talked about before the show is that there's literally no bench play for either one of these teams. Most of these girls are getting 40 minutes or 39 minutes. I think Iowa played 3 bench players. I think UConn played 1 that had 15 minutes.
Right. They mentioned that Caitlin was winded last night. They said that's the first time.
You know why?
Her. Yeah, because that girl was all over her.
Yeah, I mean, Mule was on her.
Yes.
I mean, she couldn't get in. She was having to work so hard just to get in. She couldn't get separated. She couldn't get a shot off.
Mule knew what she had for supper and breakfast and everything else because she was right there in her face the entire time.
There's no doubt about it. No doubt. But, I think Gino Ariana is one of the best coaches that's ever – I mean, look at his resume. Guy knows what to do. And they knew Caitlin Clark. They didn't need her to come out and score 40 points and could get blown out.
Right.
So – they said, look, we're just going to – your task – and Mule's a good offensive player too, but you're like, your task is to make sure she doesn't score 30, 40 points tonight. And she did her job and gave UConn a chance to win. It came down to the end. I know you brought up the controversial – how many times in a big game do we say, well, there's the controversial this or the in a close game, in a big situation, always going to be some kind of call.
Because it's at the end of the game.
Right. And you know what? There may have been another call some other time during the game that was big too.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have the, immediate impact or the finality of something that happens right there at the end of the game. And I agree. I mean, if you look at it, I mean, does that happen a lot that doesn't get called? It does. But, maybe – referees in the heat of the moment are trying to be a little bit more astute and analytic, trying to make sure things are done properly. And, the definition of a screen, of a non-offensive screen is to stand straight and let the defender run into you. You're not supposed to initiate the contact or spread your arms.
Right.
And she spread her arms.
Right.
So, we bash officials all the time. All of us do.
I know it.
But, when they try to they're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Excuse my language, but it's the truth. I mean, they make the right call. You shouldn't have made it, right. Let them play at that point. Why do you say that? Right. We complain about the Final Four for Auburn in 19. Samir Dowdy.
2 calls.
Right. And
call, yeah.
But it did Samir Dowdy give him room to land? Had he already shot the basketball and the game was about to be – clock was going to run out anyway. I mean, he, in essence, went to the free throw line with no time on the clock and made 3 free throws. I mean, so referees, I feel for them sometimes. I mean, they make mistakes, and we get mad when it's a bad call against our team. But, I mean, man, you think about what's at stake right there at the end of that game. I mean, it's a place in the national championship game.
1-point game with 10 seconds to go.
Are you mentally thinking, Scott, at that point as an official, I mean, if it's got to be egregious in my mind for something for me to call, or am I going to say, all right, that's the definition, I see it, I got to call? I mean,
and it's like that.
Yeah, I mean, what are you saying to yourself as an official when?
I don't know. It's tough. That's why I couldn't do it, I don't think.
Well, it's again,
because as soon as I made a bad call, everybody jumped on me. I'd be mad. I'd be wanting to fight somebody.
Right.
I couldn't walk away.
And there's a lot of stuff that you have to ignore, from fans, coaches, and all that. But just talking about this game last night, just a great opportunity for the women's stage to be front and center. And again, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese from last year, the story of that national championship game and the kind of the back and forth and all that. This is another chance for Iowa to get over the hump, but South Carolina is trying to finish a perfect season. I mean, what Dawn Staley's done at South Carolina is unbelievable. They're 37-0. They were pretty much undefeated last year going in until they got beat. I don't know that I've seen a team.
It wasn't even a question last night. It was almost
The first half was decently close.
19 points, is that what it was?
Yeah, and then 78-59 was the final last night. But, South Carolina's kind of been the barometer in women's basketball. I mean, you got UConn. What a star-studded Final Four.
Right.
And NC State was 31-7. They don't nothing to sneeze about. But UConn, Iowa, and South Carolina being in that Final Four, three of the better teams all year in the country. And now you'll see a stage set tomorrow with South Carolina and Iowa playing against each other for a national title. Can Caitlin Clark go out and finally get the prize that's eluded her? I mean, I don't know, man. It's going to be tough.
It's gonna be especially after last night. I mean, that game right there had to take a lot of them out. But they're all playing like that,
But now you're down to one game. I mean, it's kind of like, hey, you got to suck it up. It's just for everything out there. So, we'll continue to talk about that and a ton more. Like I said, we got a lot to go through. Auburn and Alabama on the baseball field last night, and Auburn finally got a much needed win over a very good Tennessee team. So, a lot to talk about. We'll talk some more about Clark again, his journey to where he is with the University of Alabama team that finds themselves. I mean, I'll give you this little scenario. He was at the Auburn Southern Cal game with me and Braden earlier in the year, just standing up there on the drink rail watching the game with us because they were off or whatever. So he was home. It's back during the holidays, so he went to the game and we're standing there. I mean, I'm sitting there. I went back to that the other day and I said, man, he's sitting there watching a college basketball game. Yeah, he's part of a team, but he's a walk-on. He's really not on the roster. Did he ever envision? Could he envision at that point he would be standing in Phoenix, Arizona, as part of a team that's in the Final Four?
Wow.
You never know where
first time ever for the school, and then just
never know where the good Lord's going to take.
I know it's a good story.
What path? It is a great story. Up against our first break of the show, we're just getting started here on the Saturday Sports Countdown.
Sports Blitz Live is on the air.
Sportz Auto Sales, Highway 280 in Kellyton, Alabama, is home-owned and home-operated. If you're looking for tires, they have it. If you're looking for a vehicle, they have them. Great selection. Always out looking for more just for you, the customer. And if you're looking for service, whether you buy the vehicle from them or whether you buy the vehicle somewhere else, they do service work and got a great crew there. Keep us in mind. Don't you go by Sportz Auto Sales on Highway 280 in Kellyton today.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill in Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin, comfort for life.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Hello, I'm Karen Chanel, your State Farm agent in Alexander City, Alabama, and the greater Lake Martin area. I want to talk to you a little bit today about your discounts. How many of you are entitled to discounts that you may or may not be receiving? One of the easiest discounts on your homeowner's insurance is that of having a fire extinguisher. Coupled with a deadbolt lock and a smoke alarm, that gives you an automatic discount on your homeowner's policy.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill. In Sunshine Heating and Air, you can see the logo there. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube or on Charter Spectrum out there for Sunshine Heating and Air, good friend Kevin Kill and his company been part of this show for a long time, and we appreciate it. 256-825-4849. Right now, you need the heat in the morning and the cool in the afternoon, and then so you're getting a lot of work out of that heat pump. So make sure if you have any issues, call on Sunshine Heating and Air. If you need a new one, they'll help you out too with all their line of Daikin products out there. The number to call us this morning is 256-234-6221. Our very own Luke Robinson is in Phoenix, Arizona for the Final Four. And it's odd. He had bought tickets a while back, said because his son lives in Arizona, goes to school out there, and, they had kind of said, well, look, it's out here, we'd kind of like to go. He was going to go no matter who was in the Final Four. He was just going to go for the experience, but turns out Alabama makes it. So
I can't be happy for him, though. I just can't.
It's just hard to be happy.
Hard, I know.
Yeah. He's so happy. He don't need anybody to be happy for him.
He doesn't need being happy. Yeah.
Right. He doesn't really care. But and I don't blame him. But
no, not at all.
Yeah, they're going to have an opportunity tonight to see something Alabama's never done. Same with Auburn back in 19. It's a first, and that says something about the state of basketball in this state. I know we've said this a bunch over the last couple of years on this program, that basketball is not viewed the same way in this state as it used to be.
No.
I did bring up something, and this is going back, and I thought you would appreciate this, Scott and Randy and I sent this to Randy last night, in Auburn women's basketball, and I think Coach Harris is doing a good job.
She is.
And they put a post out that said, with the Final Four start up tomorrow, we wanted to remind everyone of this legendary group of players and coaches who took our program to 3 consecutive championship game appearances. Not only did they go to 3 Final Fours, they made it to 3 championship game appearances and lost all 3 of them.
I was at the first one.
So
I was sitting under the goal in the pep band in the first one.
Well, see, I knew you would appreciate it because I knew you were part of that.
That still hurts. We lost at the end of the game to Louisiana Tech.
Didn't we lose 2 years in a row to Louisiana Tech?
We had the game won. We had the game won and just
we didn't lose all 3 to La Tech.
No.
But we did lose 2 of them to La Tech.
Yeah. They were the team, it was the teams to beat back then.
Well, wasn't Mulkey on one of those teams?
No.
The coach for LSU?
She's a little older.
She's a little older, but she did play for La Tech.
She played La Tech, yes.
All right, so only 5 programs have more championship appearances than Auburn all time. Of course, UConn's won.
Right.
I think South Carolina's won now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, man, in the late 80s,
we were good. I mean, it was
Joe Champy had it going, man, and he's. I'd love to see Coach Harris get it back.
It'd be they were fun to. Tennessee was the team to beat.
Tennessee's also, obviously another one of the teams.
Yeah, when I was there, Tennessee was good. But Georgia was good back then. The SEC, they had several SEC teams that were good back then. But Louisiana Tech was the non-SEC team that we all had to go through. They were.
And they won multiple.
They were the South Carolina back then.
They won multiple national titles, and there again, Auburn was right there. I mean, again, this is reality. Growing up, Auburn basketball, it was fun to go to a game or two, but you weren't obsessed with it. You were more like, something to do to get the football season.
I'm the exception to the rule. I've always been a basketball nut.
No, I'm just saying. Well, I've always been a basketball fan, but if you were a true basketball fan, you didn't have anybody to pull for growing up here.
No.
Auburn, Alabama sucked.
Right.
I mean, so we all were North Carolina or Duke fans,
right?
Because that was the heated rivalry. That was what was on ESPN. My friends, all of my friend group, either chose Duke or North Carolina, so it gave us something to kind of banter back and forth,
right?
About because. You on crap talk about Auburn and Alabama when both teams got a losing record?
Right.
So,
well, we didn't get good till I was in college.
Right.
I remember going to junior college, and when they were firing Sonny and they won the SEC,
right.
Barkley, they ended up winning the SEC.
Sounds like the NC State coach.
I know.
About to fire him, he wins the tournament.
I know, wins the league, and so they kept him on. And then what a run he had for the next 4 or 5 years in the tournament. And had a good time. Because he had some players and. Barkley in person and all that crowd, but
and again, men had some spurts, but women's. What my point was, the women's program with Joe Champy was at the top in the country,
right?
And I remember growing up and saying, man, our women's team always. It seemed like they were always in the Final Four. I mean, they were 3 straight years. And if you look back in football days, when they were going to the Final Four was one of the biggest heydays of Auburn football with Pat Dye. They win an SEC championship every year, 88 to 90.
Right.
89 was the first time Alabama came to Auburn in football. Auburn was in the Final Four. Our women's program was maybe not getting the pub it needed.
No, because with the whole system, women's basketball back then, it was big if you were one of those teams every year in it, but it wasn't like it is now.
Right.
It's not. They weren't getting. I know you can't compare that time to this time. $400 a ticket. It was not like.
Oh
that.
No, not at all.
No, but it was packed, and the Final Four was packed, but it was not the hype that you get now.
Right. Tony says someone get Roll Tide, Willie Saban, and Kalen DeBoer some airfare and Final Four tickets for the game tonight after 8 days. A lot of Roll Tide Willie has become some type of legend in his own mind, I think. But he was at football practice the other day, and even Alabama fans have about had enough of this because they're like, all right, Saban wasn't even allowed this, and he's up there, don't give a piss about, and all this in front of the team. And I saw some of the players, and they were like, man, right, what are we doing?
It's like your drunk uncle, you love him, but enough.
And the story's good. Yeah. This guy in whatever part of the state, obviously had a connection. He was hanging outside of old, gas station, like an old country store.
Right.
And big Alabama fan, obviously, but he's helped the guy. He's taken him to the dentist and, kind of helped his hygiene. They try to raise money to get him a house.
Right.
It's a great story. But they've ridden this thing, and now he's got so many followers, they're making money off of it. So now he's become like a celebrity.
Well, I told you the story when I met him.
I know.
His handler got mad at me because I was like, everybody was lining up to meet him. And I went, y'all right here, $5 a shot for a camera. And he got mad. He goes, no, that's my job. I was like, I was just kidding. But they're making money off him. Yeah.
Justice said, serious question, what is Roll Tide Willie famous for?
His saying. He's just country.
Well, he's been built up to be.
Yeah.
That's this guy that kind of prods him on to say, I don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide and all this stuff. And then again, it's built up through social media. So Justin, it's another. I don't want to say victim of social media. I guess it's another positive if you're looking at it from their standpoint of social media, where. Again, we're all nobodies in the world, really, right? But you take a nobody, really, and make him a celebrity.
It's a flash in the pan.
Right.
A year from 2 years.
I'm not sure this is a flash in the pan.
I think it is. I think
it's been going on for 3 years.
I know, but the players.
I just think some Alabama fans, we get a lot of Alabama viewers on here, a ton. Seems like we get more on our Auburn show than we do Auburn. To tell us what you think about it. It's been funny to this point. Are you done with it, or because I saw some comments on that last post like, man, he don't need to be at practice. Everybody's got their you know, and he's been around the basketball team, and he's been seen with the gymnastics team, and he's kind of like a mascot.
Yeah, he's yeah.
I mean, seriously. I mean, I don't. It really makes me shake my head sometimes, man. I don't understand.
It finally made him start wearing shoes. He was barefooted all the time.
I mean, we live in a world where we have laws in some of these cities now where a dang squatter, if they in their house for 30 days, is now a tenant, and if you change the locks, they can arrest the owner. Well,
Right.
So am I shocked by this? No, I'm not. I don't even understand half the crap that goes on in this world anymore.
He's a beer taster. He'll have his TikToks or whatever they are. They'll go try this whatever. And,
I know, and gives us.
gives him he rates it and.
But I don't know. Tony got us started on this, by the way. Thank you, Tony. He's laughing about that. And
Michael just said on a text, Willie is asking, Justin.
Yeah.
He's famous for his sayings, and his beer reviews is where he started. That's the beer reviews,
which are stupid, by the way.
But
which make 0 sense.
But they don't do those anymore.
Yeah, they do.
Well, don't do them as much.
Yeah,
that's what they did.
Well, that's where he got started.
Right.
He can't. Okay, I'm not going to go into detail what I'm thinking. So we're going to let it ride. But anyway, yeah, that's right. We've spent way too much time on that that I won't get back. But anyway, Auburn A-Day today. I didn't even mention that. 30 minutes into the show. That tells you how much stuff's going on.
I know.
30 minutes into the show, just got a text from Braden. They're getting ready for A-Day, and he sent me pictures of the field yesterday. I just got them painted.
Oh, I bet it's pretty.
His hands were, white from all the stuff and everything that they're having to do. But, field looks great. But they're about to take that field up as soon as the game's over today. That turf's coming up off of Jordan Hare, and they're putting brand new turf down for the season. So they do that every so many years. It's been since, I think, and Braden can tell me, since 18 or 19 since they did it last time.
So whose yard does that go in?
I need it.
I do. I need some too.
So I don't know.
Wouldn't that be cool to go, hey, my yard came off the field?
Right. Well, I got a tumor's oak in my yard. He came from a seedling. This big, seriously, came in a pot, and it was a stem, and now the thing's about 30 feet tall.
Cool.
So if we ever I'll be glad to donate that tree.
Come up there and dig it up
in the future. Hopefully nobody else will. Hopefully another Roll Tide really won't poison.
So that's what they got. What was the guy's name? Shoot.
Harvey
Updike. Yeah.
Does that not sound like a made-up name?
It has to. I know. It has to be. Sounds like a serial killer. Harvey Updike.
Well, I mean,
he shot so and so.
He did kill a daggum tree, 2 of them. So anyway, this went down a road that I wasn't expecting. So when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about Auburn A-Day. Still got that baseball poll out there for high school. They want to run down. Hopefully Luke Robinson in the second hour from Phoenix. It's 5:28 out there. He's probably still asleep.
Oh, yeah, he's still.
But he's an early riser. He's an early riser. I don't know how he's adjusted out to the jet lag or whatever out there. But Luke's getting to bed at 7 o'clock if he can at night, and then wake up at 3 and get going. I mean, he's just that's just how he is. So. But anyway, get your calls in if you'd like to add anything, your comments out there, 256-234-6221. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
Hillaby Towers is an affordable senior citizens community located in Alexander City on Highway 22 East. Spacious one-bedrooms are available now. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed, and utilities are included. Call today to find out more information on Alexander City's best-kept secret, 256-329-0552. That's Hillaby Towers in Alexander City.
SignSource is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
Satterfield Outdoor Living is Lake Martin's trusted friend for your outdoor land and leisure needs. We're the region's authorized Skag mower dealer for residential and commercial lawns and offer all the small engine accessories you need with top lines of Steel, Echo, Shindawa, Husqvarna, and Metabo products that can tame any landscape. Satterfield is also your grill headquarters with Big Green Egg Grill, and our pros service everything in-house and back up all sales. Get the Satterfield Outdoor difference on Highway 280 right across from Tallapoosa Ford.
You want the best opportunity to be successful in life. You deserve that opportunity. Well, you just happens to be in our motto. Central to you, central to your success. Your future is right now. Don't wait. Make your dreams a reality by enrolling at Central Alabama Community College. Register today at cacc.edu.
There's a new standard for the marine industry on Lake Martin, being set by Momentum Marine Lake Martin. Momentum Marine is located at the Blue Creek Bridge on Highway 49 South. Stop by soon and meet Les and the staff. While you're here, take a look at our extensive line of boats. Momentum Marine carries Crest, Manitou, Centurion, Monterey, and Robalo boats. Whatever your boating needs or dreams, the pros in Momentum will help you find the perfect boat. Be sure to ask about our brand new rental fleet. Stop by Momentum soon and experience the difference. Let Momentum Marine show you how to experience freedom on the water.
Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center provides optimum care for the whole person. Dr. Dimo Popov specializes in the prevention and diagnosis of high blood pressure, kidney disease, diabetes, and acute and chronic conditions. Our weight loss clinic offers lipo shots and a guide to healthy weight loss. Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center, where lifestyle changes are made.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. So all you Final Four fans out there, if you want some great food, you can go up to JR Sports Bar and Grill and watch the games there. You can have it delivered within certain radius. They won't deliver it out to Arizona for you, but if you want it delivered, if you want to go pick it up, if you're having groups to come together and watch, you can do that, and you can call them, and they'll do that. JR Sports Bar and Grill have been part of our program since basically day one, which has been over almost 20 years now. So it's amazing. Again, time flies when you're having fun. A-Day, we'll talk more about that a little bit later on at 1 o'clock for Auburn, Alabama's A-Day game will be next Saturday. We always talk a little high school in the first hour of our program. Hadn't had a chance to do that yet. We'll start with baseball. We'll also talk about softball. The top 10 polls a couple weeks in now, and we'll run down some of these classifications. In 7A, Phoenix City looks like they're on a track to get back, and they fell short last year, but they're number one at 21-1. Bob Jones, Hewitt, Trussville, Thompson, Baker are your top 5 teams there in Class 7A. In Class 6A, you got Hartselle, Oxford, Saraland, Mount Brook, and Homewood. Locally, Benjamin Russell coming in at number 11. Just got a big win over Pike Road, who's 13-6 in our area. So I believe we're in the lead in our area. So I was telling you and some other people, I said, Benjamin Russell Athletics here, soccer program, girls soccer programs, 11-2-1. Wow. Baseball looks like they could win the area. Football won the area. Basketball won the area, which is regions area and basketball region in football. Good run here the last couple of years in athletics for Benjamin Russell.
Very good run.
Soccer program kind of gets we had Lee Wagner on the other day talk about boys and girls. The boys are young. I think they're 8 and 7, but they've been on a winning streak here lately and starting to play a lot better. But the girls team, they got a chance, man. Yeah. They're really, really good. So there's 6A. In 5A, your top 5, Gulf Shores, Boaz, Sardis, Russellville, and Mobile Christian. There's Gulf Shores. They won a state championship in football. They're number one in baseball. I don't think they're going anywhere.
No.
This is a school that finally got its legs under it, and in athletics got some good coaches, and man, they look like they're.
We got people moving down there. I mean, people are just flocking down there because of where they're
we see Orange Beach High School growing.
Right.
You know, that school's continuing to grow. It was 2A, I think. I think it's now 4A school, and I think before you blink, it'll be a 6A. In 4A, Bibb County, Bayside Academy, Etowah Corner, and Orange Beach. What did I just say?
Right.
In 4A, there they are at 18-4. They were 2A. They reclassed to 4A. Everybody thinks they could push at least 5A, if not 6A, at the next reclassification.
Wow.
Gulf Shores and Orange Beach.
Flocking down there.
Yeah, you're
People
right.
want to live at the beach.
Well, it's hard not to want to be down there.
I know.
It's a pretty good place to be. Class 3A, you have Piedmont, St. James, Thomasville, Providence Christian, and Decatur Heritage. St. James just hired a new football coach.
Oh yeah, Auburn. Yeah.
I was going to say, I was like, are you going to pick up on that?
Had to come around.
Aubrey
there,
Blackwell returns to the state of Alabama from Mississippi, and he's back in Montgomery. So he's
his mama is happy. I talked to her last week, and she's tickled.
Well, I'm sure she is.
She is, yeah.
Class 2A, Ayrton, Pike Liberal Arts, Vincent, G.W. Long, and Collinsville, your top 5 there. But you look down at 9, Fife and Mars Hill are at 9 and 10. 2 great. Reeltown comes in, and others receiving votes. Let's see. So they come in at 16 in the state if you're counting by vote. So Reeltown right there on in just outside the top 15. Class 1A is Millry, Summerton Christian, Appalachian, Brantley, and Hackleburg. So those are your top, basically 5. Then need to go through the whole poll for every classification. In softball, in 7A, you got Thompson, Hoover, Hewitt, Trussell, Phoenix City, and Daphne. Any shot by any of those names?
No matter what sport.
Like,
7A,
yeah, I was going to say, just recycle that for football. I mean, would you be surprised if you saw Thompson, Hoover, Hewitt, Trussell, Phoenix City, and Daphne in top 5 in football?
And
what about basketball?
That's the same thing.
Baseball, same things, right? Yeah. In Class 6A, you got Wetumpka at 24-2, which is right down the road, man.
That's strong.
They've been in our area for a while, and you know, we beat them in the area tournament last year.
Right.
They went on to win the whole thing, and now they're right there at 24-2. Helena's 23-4, and then Saraland 23-3. Hazel Green, who has great women's athletics, who just wins state title after state title in basketball, they're 27-1. Hartselle is 15-7-1. That's your top 5 in 6A. Class 5A, Springville, Alexandria, Jasper, Gulf Shores, and Brubaker Tech, your top 5 there. In 4A, guess who's in first?
I don't know.
Orange Beach.
Orange Beach.
Guess what? 18-0.
Wow.
Curry is 24-1. Houston Academy is 15-1. Satsuma is number 4, and West Limestone is number 5.
Orange Beach ought to be good in softball because they have all the tournaments down there during the spring. I mean, when Linden played, we were down there every spring break.
I was told they ran out of umpires for a tournament down there.
I wouldn't doubt
a couple of weeks ago. Had to cancel some games. So again, going back to the official bashing,
right?
You know,
nobody wants to do it.
Nobody. There's not a line of people out there. So if you want to be an official, they need you. I mean, seriously. I actually thought about it at one point. Like, if I hadn't gone into broadcasting and doing that, I thought, man, I'd like to do. I don't know what. I'm like, man, I already step into enough stuff that's thankless. I don't need another thankless job. But don't you have? Didn't your sister and your niece, nephew go to Brooks High School?
Yeah.
They're number 6.
Oh, they've got
They're number 6 in the poll there in 4A. So good team there. So Class 3A, Plainview, St. James. There's St. James again in baseball and football. You know, softball. Op 3, Madison Academy 4, Winfield is 5. In Class 2A, you got Wicksburg, West End, Zion Chapel, Winston County, and Pleasant Valley. There in 2A, and then 1A you got Skyline, Brantley, Leroy, Waterloo, and Spring Garden. Again, Spring Garden great in basketball, so is You know, and you look at football, Brantley, Leroy, these schools, man.
What does that tell you about their system? They're hiring coaches that can get it done.
Well, let me tell you what it tells me about their system is also, they're hiring coaches that get it done, but they have, if one sport's doing well, it challenges the other sports to do well.
Yeah.
Starting to see that. I mean, and Ben Russell has a good history in a lot of sports, but football's always been king here. But basketball's won 3 area championships in a row. You know, baseball's always really solid. Usually have a good softball team. I mean, you really, you don't want to be walking the halls and you be on a team that doesn't get it done.
Right.
You know, so at Brantley High School, for example, good in football, good girls and boys basketball, the good in baseball, the good in softball. I mean, it just kind of is contagious, you know, and that goes for losing too.
Oh, yeah.
If you're a losing program, a losing school, and I hate to use football as the benchmark, but it kind of is in a lot of things. And I even had coaches tell me and AD say, how our football season goes sets a tone for the rest of us all year.
Because it's the most visible sport there is for the schools.
Right.
The most folks go watch it because you can get, you know, there's more people involved in it, and you get more people out there. It's more visible. That's why it's the bell cow, whatever you want to call it. It's the sport that the schools recognize.
Well, again, and you're right, and it does get the press because you're in the state of Alabama. It is football. It's key.
Right.
But I've had multiple ADs and coaches tell me that if our football team has a good fall, it just sets the tone for every sport the rest of the year.
Right.
And I'm like, it makes sense, man. And Patrick said football pays the bills, and it does.
Well,
and a lot.
It does.
I mean, you share the revenue.
And then, you know, in a lot of places, your football team, there's going to be a lot of those guys that are playing baseball and basketball. They're on that team.
They do.
Yeah,
right.
and they're
it's
good.
a mentality.
Yeah.
But it leaks in, I think, and again, I'm not saying that girls sports need football to be good. That's not what I'm saying. But I think it's just a school spirit deal.
Right.
And in a lot of these sports, a lot of these schools, if they're good, like Pisgah and some other of these schools that we talk about, Skyline, Spring Garden, all that, they have great women's sports, girls sports. They don't care what the football team does. They're just going to keep winning.
That's right.
So, but my whole point of this conversation is that winning's contagious, so is losing.
Yeah.
And it's a mentality that kind of permeates your school. And I mean, I'll say that you can see it happening here. I mean, football program the last 2 years have been outstanding, and everything else has kind of followed suit. Patrick said Alabama went from having Kobe Bryant speak now to Roll Tide Willie, so they've followed it. They've gone down. They've precipitously dropped in who they've had come to speak to their team. All right, we're past the break. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense. Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
Are you waking up in the morning with a sore jaw, headaches, maybe even ringing in your ears, all because you're grinding and clenching your teeth at night? That's exactly what was going on with me. That's when I found this, the Sportz Night Guard. Now, the Sportz Night Guard redirects the bite force away from the back teeth, reducing jaw pain while still protecting the teeth. This unique design is what makes Bruck's Night Guard different from all other traditional grind guards. Go to brucksnightguard.com and order yours today.
There's only one option for top-of-the-line aftermarket upgrades on your vehicle, and that's Frontline Outfitters. We offer quality parts, lift kits, custom wheels and tires, bed covers, step bars, and toolboxes. They're installed by trained and skilled professionals, to custom powder coating with hundreds of colors and finishes, to the highest quality film for window tinting using state-of-the-art film cutting technology. Call Frontline Outfitters at 256-409-8100. Don't be in the back of the line. Put your vehicle at the front with Frontline Outfitters.
Hillaby Towers is an affordable senior citizens community located in Alexander City on Highway 22 East. Spacious one-bedrooms are available now. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today to find out more information on Alexander City's best-kept secret, 256-329-0552. That's Hillaby Towers in Alexander City.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Another comment from Patrick. He said, I think about when I was in high school, football was king, then baseball, wrestling, basketball. For the ladies, it was softball, basketball, then volleyball. Yeah, I mean, I think, again, you look at it from a standpoint of winning permeates everything. Hey, look, Nate Oates called Nick Saban after their lose. I mean, they had a rough ending to the year, and had just gotten blown out by Florida two times, and went out early in the SEC tournament. And you know, he said, "Look, how did you get your team kind of circle back around after you lost to Texas?" And he said, "Look, he said it's a don't look behind you mentality. Let the last play go, let the last game go. You got to look forward and leave the other stuff in the rearview mirror." And he said he kind of discussed that with the team. And it's kind of been like that. If you make a bad play, forget it. You know, move on. You got to stay together as a team. And he kind of talked about that from a philosophy. So, I mean, when Nick Saban finally cuts ties at university, are they going to have anybody to talk to? I don't know. I mean, Nate Oates calls him to ask advice on, and which is a great deal. I mean, why wouldn't you call Nick Saban to ask some advice? But when he finally says, "Look, guys, I'm really out. I'm moving to Florida. Y'all handle it."
Yeah, don't call me. I'll call y'all.
Yeah, well, maybe they can call what Roll Tide Willie. So, but anyway, A-Day coming up for Auburn. We'll talk about. We talked about it a lot yesterday on the Auburn Blitz, but we'll talk about the projected depth chart today. What you expect to see there in the second hour. Maybe we'll get a call from Luke if he's up and about. I know he's got a lot going on out there in Arizona, being part of the Final Four. We'll talk about the Final Four. We'll preview those two matchups coming up in the second segment. We talked about the women's Final Four last night. What a great game that was with Iowa, UConn coming down the end. Caitlin Clark, not her normal shooting night because of defense, but they were able to get it done, and Stuelke was able to get it done for Iowa inside.
She was their offense. She was the consistent offensive player last night.
I think she had 25 points last night.
She banged inside and did well. And Caitlin got hers in the second half, but they had a couple other girls.
But you know what? Yeah. Great strategy by UConn to shut her down the way they did. Said, look, we're just going to sacrifice a player to make sure she doesn't score. And then, hey, you're going to have to beat us somebody else. And look, if Stuelke doesn't have a good night, they lose.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, somebody had to encumber, not that she doesn't score anyway, but, you know, you look down, and Iowa's a team that scores about 90 points a game.
Right.
And they had 16. And then, I mean, they were like, where are our points going to – we got to figure something out. And their defensive pressure was causing Iowa fits. But they circled back and got it.
Well, and when they finally came back and tied it up, they would get up by 2, They would try to get up by 4. Well, they would turn it over and then they'd go back down, and UConn would tie it up. They could not get. They couldn't get away.
Stretch the
they
lead.
finally got away from them with about 8 minutes or so to go, I think.
Right.
They got about 7 points, and you could tell UConn was. They were gassed too.
Well, they spent a lot of energy trying to play defense and all that.
Yes.
So, all right, up against another break. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
GlennSmith.com, the great shopping experience you'll get at our dealership. Online, GlennSmith.com. Brand new Chevrolets, brand new GMCs. GlennSmith.com. Compare pre-owned models side by side. GlennSmith.com. Get your best price every day and see everything we offer at your convenience 24/7. Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika, Alabama. Get ready to smile at GlennSmith.com.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau tri-tunes, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
They say we live in an age of big data, where computers and fancy algorithms are supposed to know you best. But at Country Financial, we know helping you own your future requires, well, something much bigger. Contact your local Country Financial representative and start planning for your future with a personal touch.
You don't have to ask who, what, or why. Who's Diner is the go-to place for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Conveniently located at the corner of Highway 22 and 280 in Alex City. Who's Diner offers the best meals and the best deals in town. Try our fresh, made-from-scratch pancakes, chicken salad, Philly cheesesteak, or the Who Burger. It doesn't get any better than who? Who's Diner, of course, on the corner of Highway 22 and 280. Who's hungry?
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Main Street Family Care offers a wide array of services that allows them to treat many conditions, and they also offer primary care. In addition to these services, they also offer DOT physical exams, lab testing, sports physicals, and vaccines. They accept most major insurance plans, including Medicaid. Main Street Family Care opens 7 days a week. Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
If you listen carefully, you'll hear the roads of Alabama calling. Tony Sarah Ford has your answer. Serving you for over 40 years with one of the largest Ford and pre-owned inventories in the state and the Sarah Promise. Our best deal when you buy or trade, a 72-hour exchange policy, a no-hassle trade-in promise. Written offers are good for 7 days. And our best service promise. Our factory-certified technicians help keep your vehicle running smoothly. That's why Alabama can be yours to discover in a new vehicle from Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown here, and one segment left in the first hour. Brought to you by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Eating in there. Comments coming in. Had a lot to talk about there in the first hour. We'll have Luke with us starting in the second hour here in a little bit. He did just get up. It is 5:50 out there. But he's normally up by now. It doesn't matter if it's 5:50, but the travel and all that, trying to get acclimated out there last couple of days. He was at shoot around yesterday for Alabama, so we'll get to hear from him and kind of get a feel of the environment out there, fans, all the whole mantra for the Final Four out in Phoenix. You ever been to Phoenix?
I have not, but that'd be a fun place to go.
I went when Auburn played in the national championship, and in that same arena. Right. Or not an arena, but football stadiums where the Arizona Cardinals play. Beautiful stadium. Phoenix is gorgeous.
They pull the football field out.
They do. They roll it out.
So what are they doing for the basketball? They roll something in on that, or
just floors?
Just the floor.
Just the floor. Yeah. So that floor is elevated anyway. When they bring the basketball floors in to these arenas, it's elevated. You'll see tonight, I mean, it'll be elevated. In all these big football stadiums, they build it up, to kind of to get it on whatever. So, but like Patrick said, Phoenix is nice, Scottsdale's nice, Flagstaff's nice. All of those areas out there, right? We enjoyed it, man. When we were out there, of course, it made it even better when we won. Yeah, you go make a trip like that and have a good time, and then your team wins. It makes it all the better. So Alabama will have their toughest task to date, playing UConn tonight. What about UConn? Couldn't even get out there.
I know they're playing.
Daggum plane was delayed, and everybody else was out there, and then they show up at like 3 o'clock Thursday morning.
That's bad.
Already a bad opening.
Plane issues. I heard yesterday Jelly Roll's plane had to land because of issues, and the planes are having issues right now.
And it's funny how things happen. Like, you never heard of a door blowing off a plane, right?
Right.
Now there's been like 7 doors blown off. I mean, I guess is it that model plane, and it's finally all of them in service having. But it's like when you see one thing, like the bridge, a barge ran into that bridge, the bridge collapsed, Baltimore. Like literally 4 days later in Arkansas, another barge hits a bridge. I'm like, you go all these years and and then all of a sudden you get it's just crazy that stuff kind of happens in cycles like that.
Put your seatbelt on if you're by a door.
I don't know if I'm sitting by a door in a plane.
I always like sitting by the door, but
until it blows off, until it blows out.
Yeah.
I mean, you better hope your seatbelt and seats anchored really good because the suction,
you're going to get sucked out.
Yeah, exactly. So that wouldn't be a lot of fun. That'd be a bad way to go, man. I mean, you're just out there. I mean,
your
conscience. So you're conscious. So you're not. You're not knocked out. Is what I'm saying. But fear you may have a heart attack. So
right.
How did we get talking about that? You said the
Jelly Roll.
Well, we're talking about UConn's playing, but anyway, the Final Four tonight. Again, Luke will be on to talk about his perspective out there. We said in the first hour, local kid Clark James is part of the team. I was able to make that trip to Spokane. Got that call and said they were releasing one walk-on, was going to give him an opportunity to move up to the travel group. And man, he's living the dream. And looking forward to seeing him possibly on the roster next year. Feel like he will be.
I think he will be. Yeah.
On the roster, he's worked his rear end off. Watched him in shoot around yesterday a little bit, and just what a great opportunity that he has right now. Not to be just at. Not only are you at the Final Four, you're part of one of the teams.
I know it.
That's playing in the Final Four.
Sitting right there on the floor with the team.
That's pretty doggone cool.
Yeah,
and cool. Again, that UConn game will be the nightcap, and then you've got the first game, Scott, and in NC State, their men and women made it, and UConn's men and women made it. I mean, that didn't happen. I don't know if has that ever happened.
I don't think so. No, not two.
So
like the girls and guys have been there together, but not two schools.
Not two schools, right? Yeah. Purdue taking on NC State in that first game. It's got some good basketball tonight. Like we said, the women's game is set for tomorrow between Iowa and South Carolina. South Carolina trying to finish 38-0.
Wow. Back to the guys. We talk about UConn, how great they are. Purdue. I think Purdue has a great chance to win it.
In basketball?
Yeah.
I mean, in the men's.
Yeah.
I mean, you really think so?
I mean, the big dude scores 35.
I can't get past you. Now, again, if UConn gets beat tonight, I would give my nod to Alabama as hot as they're playing. But I think if the basketball gods align, you will see Purdue and UConn because they've been the best two teams. And Luke even said that the other night when we were together.
Right.
I mean, it's the truth. I mean, those have been the best two teams. Not one's been one or the other, and they've been kind of flopping. Houston was mixed in there a little bit. But there's no doubt. I mean, you Klingon for UConn, Zach Edey for Purdue. I mean, both premier big guys inside.
Yeah.
You just – if we all say let the best two teams play for the national title, it would be them. But you know what? That's why NC State and Alabama are there.
Well, if Alabama shoots, if they hit 16 3-pointers tonight, they'll win.
If they hit 16 3-pointers against anybody, they're probably going to win.
Oh, yeah.
That's
yeah.
Here's the deal. How do you adjust to this big, huge play? And every team's got to do that. But UConn's going for back-to-back national titles. It doesn't happen very often.
No.
It's hard to do. It's hard to do in any sport, but, man, it's really hard to do it in basketball. So
exactly.
A lot that you got to run through. So we're up against the top of the hour break. We come back, hour number 2 of Saturday Sports Countdown.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
When driving, wear a seatbelt, not a filter. What? Alabama has a code of the road, and knowing it helps you follow it. This is a message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
Dixie Electric Plumbing and Air has teamed up for the 4th year with the Food Bank of East Alabama and Montgomery Area Food Bank in an effort to reduce the high percentage of food insecurity within the Montgomery and Auburn communities. For every new Dixie Cares Plan membership that is purchased, Dixie will be donating 7 meals to partnered food banks. Last year alone, Dixie donated 13,356 meals. Our goal for 2024 is 15,000. Thank you for choosing Dixie.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Gorey at Gorey's Furniture. Come join us for the madness of March. Come join us here at Gorey's Furniture. Make a purchase, shoot from the line, 5, 10 to 15. That's % discount off your total ticket. So come join us. Let's have fun. Everyone's a winner. Everyone will save. Come join us for the madness of March, and that's only at Gorey's Furniture.
When driving, stay sober, not stoned. Alabama has a code of the road, and knowing it helps you follow it. This is a message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown, hour number 2 here, getting started, and I'll go straight to the phone line. Welcome our good friend Luke Robinson out in Phoenix, Arizona, getting ready for tonight's matchup with Alabama and UConn. Luke, you've been out there a couple of days, man. I'll just start there. Kind of, how is it? What's the mood like? I know you went to shoot around yesterday, which was pretty neat, and just kind of give us an update.
Well, I think update is NCAA is still doing pretty well financially because at the shoot-around there were a ton of folks, and everybody was just crawling over each other to buy merchandise. And some of the merchandise wasn't even any good. I mean, they don't care. I bought, a few $100s worth of stuff for me and for other people and kids, and then there were people that were spending, thousands of dollars. There are these merchandise tables set up all over the place at shoot-around. Brilliant idea. But next time, if you ever want to feel sorry for the NCAA, don't. They're doing pretty well. But the shoot-around was a lot of fun. It is a cavernous stadium. I mean, it's at the very first, I mean, again, I wasn't really watching. I think it was Purdue. That was just before Alabama. And we got there about 10 minutes before Alabama was about to start. So, I mean, they were really just transitioning between the two teams. And it looked like Alabama was having trouble shooting at first, which I totally get, because I mean, I don't know how anybody shoots in these stadiums, honestly. I mean, the depth perception's got to be such a problem. But then they caught on a little bit later, and they started shooting really well. Nick Pringle was even hitting three. So not that that's going to have anything to do with what happens today. I'm just glad that they had an opportunity to go and shoot in that kind of environment, because it is going to be different. But it was. I've seen a ton of folks. I've seen, that's the great thing about the Final Four. Now, when I've gone to a lot of football national championships, and you do see representatives from other teams that aren't even in the playoffs or in the national championship. They just show up. But there's something about when you do it for football, it seems like you're being sort of, I don't know, like you're angry about it, that you're not in the championship. You just want people to know, hey, I'm here anyway, dang it, and I want to be seen. But for the Final Four, it's different. It's almost like, because I would have done it. I was coming out here anyway. I would have worn some Alabama stuff just at the Final Four. And I think people appreciate it's almost like a universal sign of hey, I just love college basketball. I think for all these other, I've seen Kansas State, Iowa, Michigan State, UCLA. Of course, they're pretty close out here. Seen Tennessee, seen Mississippi State. I mean, just seen some other universities represented out here, and they're like, hey, I'm coming to shoot around, because I just love college basketball. I want to soak in the environment, and it is really cool.
Yeah, it's it's an experience, and it is different that you play in these smaller arenas all year. Maybe max of 18,000, and then you make it to the Final Four, and you're playing in a stadium that seats 80,000. I know all seats won't be available; they'll close part of it off. But like you said, I think you used a good term, cavernous. I mean, it's got to be overwhelming to walk out there and look around and see how, the depth perception and the height of the ceiling and, the way the whole arena's set up to try to make it feel a little bit more like an arena. But, again, that's part of it. You got the team. We've seen teams get there and they can't adapt and whatnot. But just your thoughts on this game tonight. Justin wanted me to ask you if Roll Tide Willie has arrived to give his pregame speech to the team yet.
I'm not sure he can. I've never heard of anybody needing a passport to get out of the state of Alabama, but I bet he needs one.
He might.
No,
illegal alien out there.
How do you feel about Roll Tide Willie, Luke? Seriously, we talked about it earlier. I noticed some comments. I saw him at practice and kind of doing his thing he always does, and I could kind of see a little bit of the comments of some of the Alabama fans going, okay, this was fun for a while, but this is kind of played out. We're kind of done with that. Is that how you feel, or are you good with it?
It doesn't really bother me one way or the other. I think that it will sort of pan out. I mean, not pan out. It will fade out. It will go away. And, it's just one of those things that you're always looking for something football-wise. And I think this staff is people are like, why is he there talking to anybody? And I think this staff is trying to maybe get the whole program to loosen up a bit. Now, I mean, again, I've always said you can't run the program the way Nick Saban ran it, because only Nick Saban can run a program that way.
Right.
That's the way it is. And I've heard some people say that that have been to practice that the practices are a little bit they're not quite as intense at times, whereas Nick Saban always wanted all this intensity. And again, Nick Saban's way was great, and it worked fantastically. But I don't think it's at all expected to be that intense anymore, because it's not even you just can't count on anybody to run a practice that intense anymore, because only he has earned the ability to run a practice like that. And look, I don't have any problem with. Part of me is sort of like, hey, this really kind of is what this guy is, and I don't think this is an act at all. I think
it's not an act.
Very, very special, a very special thing to him. There's another show that I listen to out of Auburn, actually, sometimes when I'm driving from Birmingham or driving to Birmingham, and they have some guys call that, you know, you can tell there's some issues there, but they just love Auburn University, and they may ask some questions that aren't that are pretty obvious, or they may ask some things that are pretty redundant or pretty easy, but you can tell, like, the hosts are like, look, this is kind of what these guys have, and we're not going to make fun of it or take it away from them. And Roll Tide Willie may be a little different, because at this point, you know, when you first started with all these videos, I'm not sure he didn't look like the kind of guy, and again, I don't know his whole backstory, that had a ton of stuff, right? But I think he's partnered with some people and some merchandise, and
he has.
I'm guessing he's making probably some pretty serious money right now. So it's both kind of an act of kindness and also an act of, hey, this is reflective on society now. You can, if you have a shtick and it's a real one and it's genuine, I mean, you can make some serious money on it, no matter what it is. And so there's part of me is like, hey, just go ahead, man, go make your money. I just hope you don't, you know, make some money and then put some of it away. You don't have to spend all of it to go to the Wisconsin game.
I think we talked about that, about social media. It gives anybody a platform out there, and they took this guy, and I think he started doing beer reviews, and you know, he came up and kind of tagged that line, and then, you know, it's kind of morphed into what it is. But all right, enough on that. We spent way too much time talking about that. Yeah, all right, so let's talk about the game tonight. Just your thoughts.
It's going to be very difficult for Alabama. This UConn team is amazing. The more I think about them, the more how good they are. They've only lost 3 games. One of the games they did lose, though, was at Creighton, and they got blown out. And Alabama went to Creighton and fought pretty well. That was in the middle of the year. That probably is not reflective at all about what is going to happen. It's just also noteworthy. I mean, it may not mean anything. It may mean a little something. I'm not going to say, well, Alabama can blow out the UConn because UConn lost to Creighton worse than Alabama did. No, that's not the way this works. I think that Alabama's going to have to shoot really well. They're going to have to just keep playing this game. Now, there are some UConn media outlets that have said some things that I think have certainly gotten under the skin of the Alabama team, and there's no doubt in my mind they will use that as motivation. But just like we always say, once the ball is in the air, you can sort of throw a lot of that stuff out. I mean, if you need motivation from Twitter or Facebook or some other media outlet that, quite frankly, a lot of people hadn't heard of, maybe, then you probably aren't preparing the right way anyway. I don't think UConn's playing being delayed, all this other stuff is going to have any effect on this ball game. I think in the end, UConn's just big and strong, and they're pretty fast, and they can shoot pretty well. I think they've had like 3 guys shoot over 200 threes this year, which is kind of weird because I'm not sure Alabama's had anybody over 200. Now, they've had several over 100, like 7 total, I believe, which is interesting. And UConn's next guy after those 3 has only shot 72. But Alabama's going to have to get, you know, drive and dish and get some open shots. It's going to be difficult when you've got a guy that's 7'2" that can really block shots, very athletic in the middle of the lane. So I'm anxious for it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm not expecting Alabama to win. I'm expecting them to put up a very good fight. And in the end, you know, I'm going to predict Purdue and UConn, but you know, it's not going to be the most surprising thing in the world if it's NC State and Alabama too.
Luke, talk about the day today. I know you're out there with your son. Y'all had planned to do this anyway, and be at the Final Four. It worked out that y'all's team's in it. You're going to be at the first game, obviously. Go in and watch that first game between NC State and and Purdue and kind of get ready for y'all's game tonight. But just kind of what's your plans today?
Yeah, we'll go to the game probably about 11 out here, 11 time, which is 1 o'clock out there. And we went to the Suns game last night, and it was a huge one. It was the Suns in Minnesota. The Suns have like 140 straight sellouts or something bananas. And so we had the worst seats in the world. And then when some people left, we were able to move down pretty close to the court. But it was a great time then. Then we'll go to the game at about 11 out here, I think, because I bought this fan experience kind of thing. Because, again, I didn't think Alabama was going. I bought tickets through a package that two tickets for the Final Four, 2 tickets for the championship game, and all this fan experience stuff where you get to see some former NCAA guys that get a picture with the trophy, exclusive kind of tailgate stuff. All this for $2,500, which I thought was a pretty good deal. And it turns out it was because, and I got my flights early, so I saved a bunch of money. But I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to all have at this tailgate. We went yesterday. It was kind of funny. You probably won't appreciate this, but it's Auburn related. That they had I think it was, I can't even remember. I can't remember what company it was that was sponsoring it, but there's a booth, and it's much bigger than a booth. It's really a big area, like set up with all these other basketball shooting things the Army has set up, and they got a big, gigantic Ferris wheel and a place for a band. But this one booth, you could pick one of 3 experiences. And the first experience is you could be a buzzer beater. You have 5 seconds to make a shot from, I think, beyond 3-point line. And they said just like the kid at whoever his name was, against Villanova.
North Carolina.
Villanova against North Carolina, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then they said you have another experience. I can't remember. It was like shooting. You got to hit as many shots as you can in 30 seconds. And that was just like some other game that was in the NCAA tournament. And then they said you have another experience you can choose where you have to make 2 free throws, just like Kyle Guy did with ice in his veins against Auburn back in 2019. And so they show the highlights of all these things as you're picking whatever experience you want. And so it's kind of cool. They put you in this almost like a virtual reality type situation with fans around you, et cetera. And it's really a cool idea. I can't believe that. I mean, there's no telling what this thing cost. And the line is way long. I was going to do it, but it took us 30 minutes to move up 3 people. So I said, we got to get out of here.
Or you can choose the 4th experience and be an official and blow a call at the end of the game, right?
Mm-hmm. you can do that, but I think they've already got folks that do that in real life.
That's right. You don't need to virtually do that. So,
right.
Well, Luke, been on for a while with us this morning, and I want to let you go because I know y'all got a great day planned. And again, we talked about Clark James. I just got to mention that. He's friends with mine and Scott's sons, and just pulling for that kid. What a great story! And he's soaking all this in, and to be in his shoes and to look up and know that he's part of that team that's in the Final Four has got to be unreal.
It really does. When I went to Alabama
If you're
back in the
tired of
early
the
90s,
same old, same
I
old.
gave some moderate thought to just walking on. And, just being with the team, it was different back then. I still wish I'd done it now. I mean, now that I'm into my 50s, I certainly wish I'd done it. Because you could have gotten a lot of better. You could have had all these experiences, traveled to all these different places in the SEC or in the country. It would have been a lot of fun, right? But it was different back then. I mean, now, can you imagine? And for his serendipity to be on this particular team.
Right.
He could have walked on, if he was born 4 years earlier, 5, maybe 6 years earlier, he's on an Avery Johnson squad that, they don't get to go to as many quite as fun games. I mean, right. I'm not sure what his travel experience was this year, but I mean, Alabama's been out to Phoenix before already. They've been to Toronto. They've been to Creighton, which is a crazy environment. I mean, he's gotten to see a lot of cool stuff. And next year they'll be, if he's still on the team, and I'm sure he will be, that's great. They may be going to this Las Vegas tournament. It would be the first time ever. And all these kids, like it's part of the deal is NIL. The kids actually get paid by the tournament, like for all 8 teams. I mean, it's amazing stuff. So, gosh, if you're out there and you can play basketball at all, and you have an opportunity to walk on somewhere, I would highly recommend it.
Well, Luke, appreciate it, man. Y'all have a good time out there, and obviously we'll all be watching, and we'll catch up with you next week.
All right, guys.
All right, man.
Be safe.
Thanks, brother.
Be safe.
And we'll get to break, and we come back. We'll continue to take your comments, your calls, a lot more to cover when we come back. Stay tuned. More Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
If you're tired of the same old, and you're hungry for something really good, then it's time to go to JR's Sports Bar and Grill. JR's has the best fingers and wings around, and their menu is loaded with appetizers, burgers, salads, and so much more. Follow JR's on their Facebook to keep up with their live music events and drink specials. And if after a long day you just want to stay in, remember JR's delivers. Call in your order at 256-329-2328. JR Sports Bar and Grill, 145 Alabama Street in Alexander City.
Inspired by the bold bison, Southern Union students blaze new trails every single day. They press forward knowing their SU education will lead them to success. Affordable, accessible, and locally unparalleled. Whether you're transitioning to a university or launching straight into a lucrative career, a degree from SU SEC can help you blaze your path. 3 locations, dedicated faculty and staff, endless possibilities. It's all waiting for you at Southern Union. It's time to venture forward. Register today.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
They say we live in an age of big data, where computers and fancy algorithms are supposed to know you best. But at Country Financial, we know helping you own your future requires, well, something much bigger. Contact your local Country Financial representative and start planning for your future with a personal touch.
When you need an automotive hero, you got to call S&S Discount Tire Pros. With locations in Alexander City and Dayville, we are here to serve you today. From quick services like oil changes and tire rotations to in-depth automotive repairs such as suspensions, brakes, and tune-ups, S&S can take care of all your tire needs. You just have to focus on what's important and love the drive. Call S&S Discount Tire Pros today. We are automotive heroes, and we are here to serve you.
GlennSmith.com, the great shopping experience you'll get at our dealership. Online, GlennSmith.com. Brand new Chevrolets, brand new GMCs. GlennSmith.com. Compare pre-owned models side by side. GlennSmith.com. Get your best price every day and see everything we offer at your convenience 24/7. Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika, Alabama. Get ready to smile at GlennSmith.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. The phone number 256-234-6221 to be part of the program. Again, I want to thank Luke for taking a little time out there in Phoenix. What a great experience that is for him and his son. You know, it's awesome to go. Look, any kind of opportunity where your team's in a championship. I've been to the national championship in football. I've been to a World Series back in was it 19 when the Braves 21 or well, I can't remember. I think it might have been 21. That tells you how fast time goes by. But anyway, went to that World Series where the Braves beat Houston. Been to a bunch of SEC championship games. Went to the SEC tournament championship this year where Auburn beat Florida. If you have a chance to go to any championship venue and you're a big sports fan out there, I encourage you to do it. Hey, next weekend's the Masters, and I'm going somewhere with all this. Had a chance to go to the Masters back-to-back years. Went with my dad one year. That was one of his the lifelong things he wanted to go and see Augusta, and you know, we were able to make that happen. And so when you do things father-son wise, man, or father-daughter, it doesn't matter. Father and your kids, you have an opportunity because to go and experience some things. Those, to me, that's what it's all about. You remember all those things. Those are lifelong memories, things that you get to experience, and that's what makes them special to me. Is who you get to experience them with. I mean, if I just went to these venues by myself, I mean, it'd be a cool experience, but, you know, it's all about sharing the experience with somebody.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we went to one game together with the boys. And
we did.
It was awful.
Well, that didn't turn out too well. That was the Peach Bowl, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl when we played Central Florida, and then Gus Malzahn ended up coaching for Central Florida after Scott Frost left. But, hey, you know, there's a 50-50 chance when you go to one of those things.
I know it.
You know, you're either gonna win or lose, and so don't let the fear of losing keep you at home.
That's
I mean,
right.
we still had a good time.
Oh yeah.
We still my face froze off. That's the coldest I think. And I've been in some cold stuff, but man, in Atlanta that day,
it was 20
degrees. It was
daggum
cold, but then the wind.
Yeah.
I literally thought my daggum face was going to freeze off.
Thank the good Lord we were inside during the game.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't have been over there if we'd had to sit out in that. So, John said, bring the title home, Luke, but soak up that experience, as I know you will with your son. I want to go back to Clark for a second. I know we've talked a lot about him on this show today, and I think he deserves to be talked about. Luke made a good point. Whatever happens, he's going to have on his resume, I was on that Final Four team.
That's right.
I was on the Alabama Final. Now, I didn't play, but he's going to say, you remember the Final Four? We don't know if Alabama ever go back to the Final Four. I know they think they're there and they can go back. Well, we did too. We went 19, and I kind of thought we might have already been back. Heck, we ain't been to the Sweet 16 since. So Dan Marino, when he went to the Super Bowl, you know, and lost, he thought, well, I'll be back. You know, never went back again. You know, and so – you just don't know in sports, man. There's nothing guaranteed.
Take in the moment.
Right. You take in the moment, experience it, and kind of, you know, soak it in, like John said, that you're there, and it's a special opportunity. So Alabama's A-Day game will be next Saturday. Auburn's is today at 1 o'clock. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about it, talk about who we will see out there. We talked about some MVPs from past A-Days yesterday. Thought that was pretty interesting. Who will be the MVPs today for Auburn on offense, defense, and special teams? We'll talk about that and more when we come back. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
OGS Tournaments presents Crank for Bank. Win over $1.6 million in cash and prizes. Over 200 tag bass and 75 tag crappie are waiting to be caught by you in Lake Martin. Register now online at crankforbank.com for only $120. All ages are welcome. Fish from the dock, boat, or the shores of Lake Martin to win over $1.6 million in cash and prizes. It's Crank for Bank.
There's a new standard for the marine industry on Lake Martin, being set by Momentum Marine Lake Martin. Momentum Marine is located at the Blue Creek Bridge on Highway 49 South. Stop by soon and meet Les and the staff. While you're here, take a look at our extensive line of boats. Momentum Marine carries Crest, Manitou, Centurion, Monterey, and Robalo boats. Whatever your boating needs or dreams, the pros in Momentum will help you find the perfect boat. Be sure to ask about our brand new rental fleet. Stop by Momentum soon and experience the difference. Let Momentum Marine show you how to experience freedom on the water.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
The food at Oscar's Cafe makes your mouth water. At Oscar's, enjoy great tasting catfish, or maybe you're just in the mood for one of Oscar's fresh salads. Even kids know the place for a fine meal is Oscar's with a great kids menu. Oscar's also has great tasting burgers full of backyard flavor. So come on out to Oscar's Cafe for great food and homegrown hospitality. We're located on Highway 49 South in Dadeville, just before the Blue Creek Bridge. And remember, it's all fun and games till there's only one cheese ball left.
Inspired by the bold bison, Southern Union students blaze new trails every single day. They press forward knowing their SU education will lead them to success. Affordable, accessible, and locally unparalleled. Whether you're transitioning to a university or launching straight into a lucrative career, a degree from SU SDC can help you blaze your path. 3 locations, dedicated faculty and staff, endless possibilities. It's all waiting for you at Southern Union. It's time to venture forward. Register today.
OGS Tournaments presents Crank for Bank. Win over $1.6 million in cash and prizes. Over 200 tag bass and 75 tag crappie are waiting to be caught by you in Lake Martin. Register now online at crankforbank.com for only $120. All ages are welcome. Fish from the dock, boat, or the shores of Lake Martin to win over $1.6 million in cash and prizes. It's Crank for Bank.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown. A couple segments left in today's show, talking about Auburn's 8A game coming up at 1 o'clock. It'll be on the SEC Network Plus. So if you're looking for it live on SEC Network, it's not going to be there. Make sure you turn it on. And if you've got the subscription, it'll be on SEC Network Plus on demand, so you can watch it live. It'll be replayed on SEC Network later on, but you won't be able to see it live on that one. So it's beautiful in Auburn. If you got nothing to do today, I mean, it's going to be a pretty day to be in Auburn. Hey, by the way, Auburn got a big win over Tennessee last night to start that series. It's time to get it turned around here.
What time do they play today? Is it after the 8A game?
Yeah, it'll be after the 8A game. Yeah. Yep. Auburn play at 1, I think. The 8A game will be at 1. I think they play at 4 today, I believe. I'll check that time for you out there. And then the finale will be on Sunday. Auburn softball with 2 big wins yesterday. La Tech, Georgia Tech had a one at the very end against a very good Georgia Tech team, 4-3. So maybe they're starting to turn things around a little bit.
Maybe the Sonny Smith effect. Either the coach announces his retirement or resign.
You know, 1 or 2 things can happen when that happens. You know, you can go in the tank and just mail it in, or you can kind of rally the troops. Let me get that time for everybody out there. It will be at 3:30 today. So it will be Auburn, Tennessee at 3:30. Alabama will be second game with Kentucky. That game will be at 1 o'clock. Today, Alabama fell to Kentucky in that first game. Kentucky's the best team in the country. Who saw that coming? In this loaded SEC, it just tells you, man. Nobody saw South Carolina in basketball doing what they're going to do. That just tells you how great this league is in every sport, that you got teams that maybe weren't picked to be at the top, end up being at the top. Some bad memories for Auburn fans. Today, 5 years ago, we were getting ready to play Virginia at 5 o'clock today. So, that just, you just kind of look back and say, hey, now you fast forward and Alabama's getting ready to take on UConn. But 5 years ago today, it's odd.
We were that game was on. We were down at the Crossroads. United Way had their quail auction dinner down there that night, and I was down there working that, and not the big barn, but the one beside it. They had the game on a big TV in there, and everybody was in there watching the game.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there was probably 30, 40 folks in that one big room, and it was awful.
It wasn't awful till the last part of the game. I mean,
we were all having a great time.
With 17 seconds and up 5 points, you felt pretty good about it.
Yeah.
We're about to go to the championship game, about to play for a national title. And boy, 2 calls in that last 17 seconds just changed the whole deal. So, I mean, it's crazy. A-Day today, talk about what we expect to see. We had Jason Caldwell on the show yesterday. Thought he did a great job of kind of breaking things down. We're going to see Peyton Thorne today. He's going to be the number 1 guy. Hank Brown appears to be 2 / Holden Geriner. Both of those guys going to get reps today. May see Walker White in limited action. Don't know if we'll see a ton of him, but will Peyton Thorne be the guy in the fall? I think so.
Yeah. Unless he gets hurt, yeah.
Yeah, I think he'll be the guy. All right, running backs, Jarquez Hunter, Damari Alston, Jeremiah Cobb, Brian Battie. My pick for offensive MVP is going to be Jeremiah Cobb. I think, I think Damari Alston kind of gets undersold a little bit. Had a pretty good year. He got hurt in the A&M game, battled back, and had a good Iron Bowl.
Right.
If you remember, scored a touchdown in that game. And I just think he's a guy that maybe will kind of emerge even more this year. But Jeremiah Cobb is extremely talented, and I think this could be a breakout year with him. But Auburn's solid in the backfield.
Yeah.
I mean, you got three, and then you got Brian Battie, who's a speedster.
Yeah.
I mean,
you got four guys
you can lean on back there for sure. Offensive line, you asked Jason yesterday about the offensive line, and he said the difference is this offensive line versus years past is if you had a guy go down, it was a hodgepodge. You moving guys around trying to fill a hole. He said he legitimately thinks we're too deep at every position.
So if the left tackle goes down, we got number two left tackle.
You got a left tackle going to go in.
You don't have to move anybody on the right.
You don't have to move the right tackle to left and move a guard over to right and kind of shift all that kind of
helps
stuff.
in substitutions too late in the game when people are tired. You can throw them out there. Yeah, that's how we used to win when Dye was there in the SEC. Back in the '80s and.
Well, you got to have depth on the line of scrimmage. You
and
win.
He had it back then.
Well, you win, and he talked about offensive line maybe being, finally back to a level that we saw in 17, where Auburn went to the SEC championship game. Percy Lewis at left tackle, Dylan Wade, Connor Lew, left guard, center, and then right guard Jeremiah Wright, and right tackle Xavier Miller. I mean, those guys, most of them been around for a while. I know Percy Lewis. New Connor Lew, his second year at being a true freshman. But Jeremiah Wright, Xavier Miller, Dylan Wade was new not last year, but he improved. He was a transfer. Got an opportunity to have a solid line, and then you brought in Jaden Muskrat, and you got Tate Johnson returning. You got Tyler Johnson maybe at a left tackle, Dylan Senda at left guard, Seth Wilford at right tackle. I mean, legit, too deep. At the offensive line. So I want to go down and look at the defensive line. I think that's just as important. If you're including the jack position on the line, you have Jalen McLeod at the jack, Jason Jones, who was the transfer from Oregon, Gage Keys there at defensive tackle along with Keldrick Faulk at defensive end, who Coach Freeze anticipates maybe he's one of the next all-time greats on defense. Just looking at him, his potential, having to play as a freshman last year, he's going to have more experience. You had the highly touted recruit in Jamonta Waller that Auburn was able to flip. That'll be at the backup with Jalen McLeod at the jack. Trill Carter, Malik Blockton, T.J. Lindy also in there. At linebacker, we talked about Eugene Asante returning, Austin Keys being healthy. Robert Woodyard, and then you got the newcomers in DeMarcus Riddick, DJ Barber, and Joe Phillips, who I think all are going to play this year. At receiver, I think you got a chance to see an entire new group. You'll see Bryce King, Cam Coleman today, but you'll see Jay Fairback. You'll see maybe a healthy Caleb Burton, what he can really do. I think, Malcolm Simmons and Perry Thompson will have something to say about that when they get here. I think that'll be huge. But Sam Jackson, the fifth, not the actor, coming from Cal as the quarterback now, Scott, last year, and will come to Auburn as a slot receiver. Camden Brown, Robert Lewis. I mean, all these guys have a ton of potential.
They're all –
and let's see if we'll actually see something, but star-studded lineup.
They will. What are the three names of the three famous names?
You got Sam Jackson. You got the tight end, Brandon Frazier,
and Jeremiah Wright.
Jeremiah Wright.
So don't let the program fool you. These aren't
actors. These aren't actors. So. But I didn't even bring up Rivaldo Fairweather. He was the guy last year. Yeah. I think he could be really special this year.
He's a real deal.
I think he could be really, really good. So there's kind of a rundown of what you probably will see, and some other guys. Of course, we didn't name everybody, but in the secondary, you'll see Keontae Scott back. You'll see a lot of new faces back there in the secondary, but you got a couple key returners back there that's going to really help Auburn, in the secondary. But very athletic, very, very skilled, but maybe going to have to learn on the fly a little bit. But that's
and
part of it.
Who's our kicker?
Towns Magoo from Auburn. So.
That's right. That's from Auburn. In the snapper and the holder never get respect. We know who those guys are. I mean, they're just as key as that.
Right. No doubt.
They may be the special team MVP. You never know.
But but you got McPherson that'll be back kicking too. Towns Magoo's the new one, but you got McPherson Alex McPherson will be the starter kicker.
Right.
So I don't know how punting will go. I don't know if we'll do what we did last year or not. So, but McPherson, I mean, his brother's in the pros, and he set the record for the longest field goal, I think, and Alex did, and at Fort Payne. So he comes from. He was a great kicker last year.
He did well last year.
I think he'll be back and be solid this year for Auburn, and so I look forward to kind of seeing how that all plays out. But you won't see a lot of live returns. You won't see a lot of stuff like that. So. All right, we're up against another break. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Planting season is here, and the Potting Shed Garden Center is happy to give you professional landscaping advice when it comes to planting your shrubs and trees. Auburn's best kept secret will have it all this fall. Mums, pansies, pumpkins, and much more. All in an array of colors and sizes, along with beautiful pots and containers, indoor plants, and a great selection of other gardening gifts. It's all at the Potting Shed Garden Shop, where natural elements reign supreme. Located on the corner of Moore's Mill and Society Hill Road in Auburn.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hi, this is Andrew McGreer at Dunning Roofing. At Dunning Roofing, we specialize in high-quality, premium roofs. We don't build roofs that just meet code requirements. We build quality roofs with premium materials that significantly exceed our competitors' warranties. We put money on your roof, not in our pockets. If you're looking for a top-quality roof, call Dunning Roofing today for your free quote at 256-307-7601 or visit us at DunningRoofingAL.com for more information.
Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation is coming soon to the corner of 280 and 49 North in Dadeville. This new 10,000 square foot facility is conveniently located to serve the residents of the Lake Martin area and its many communities. A branch of Frederick Dean Funeral Home and Crematory in Opelika, Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation looks forward to serving your families and your communities, as we have since 1900 at Frederick Dean. 256-750-0381.
GlennSmith.com, the great shopping experience you'll get at our dealership. Online, GlennSmith.com. Brand new Chevrolets, brand new GMCs. GlennSmith.com. Compare pre-owned models side by side. GlennSmith.com. Get your best price every day and see everything we offer at your convenience 24/7. Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika, Alabama. Get ready to smile at GlennSmith.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Eating in there. Couple segments left in today's show. Been a great show, man. Appreciate Luke calling in out in Phoenix. I know he's on cloud nine, getting to go to the shoot around, talking about that. we've talked a lot about Clark James today, pulling for him.
Oh, yeah.
Pulling for him.
Pulling for him.
Pulling for Clark. But, yeah, again, 5 years ago today, heartbreak for Auburn fans. It was great. Look, being in the Final Four, it's awesome. We talked about that a minute ago. Experience, being able to go to games, championship games, do that. You know, take your kids, have that father-son, father-daughter, mother-daughter, whatever, the combination family, go.
If you got an extra ticket, take a friend.
Be a
Take
friend.
me.
Take a friend.
me.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But if you have the opportunity to do those kind of things together, lifelong memories last. I mean, going to the Masters with my dad, being at championship games, being in the national championship game, and when we beat Oregon as a family, and just a lot of fun. You know, and again, don't let the fear of losing keep you from going.
Right.
You know, I want to go because I'm like. But anyway, Auburn A-Day again today at 1 o'clock. We were just talking about that. You know, if you're looking at, and we'll talk about Alabama's A-Day game next week as we get closer. But Auburn today is going to have a pretty day as opposed to last year where, you know, it was Hugh Freeze's first A-Day and it was a monsoon and you just never know what the weather's going to be. So good Lord blessed us with great weather today.
It's going to be a great day down there today.
Yeah, got Tennessee. Like we said, that game.
Man, what a good day to go down. If you go down and go to the A-Day game, then go over and grab a baseball game.
And the softball's playing again today. I mean, just a lot going on.
Take your sunscreen.
Yeah, take your sunscreen. But it's going to be a little cool, a little wind blowing, so maybe have a little bit of little extra layers. But if you're in the sun, it'll all be pretty good.
It'd be nice, but you'll get burned because I did that last week at a wedding. It was so nice outside. I didn't even think about the sun.
Well, because you ain't been out yet.
No,
really.
And old bald head got burned.
Starting to be lake season here, by the way, for all of us around here. And that you kind of been bundled up all, you know, the last 4 or 5 months. And then you get back out in the sun, hits that skin for the first time. It gets a little rough. So, you know, again, I think you're looking at from a standpoint of what to expect out of an 8-day game. You're not going to see a ton, but I do want to see Peyton Thorne make throws. I want to see him be able to do the things that maybe he wasn't able to do last year. You heard Jason Caldwell say yesterday that he's settled down more. Seems like a lot more calm, a lot more in tune to what he is. And look, we forget, man, he kind of was thrust into the fire last year. He didn't get here till the summer.
Right.
You know, that last portal window, and he got here late, and then you run him out there as your starter. I mean, you know, we want to talk about Walker White, you know, not getting a lot of reps. Well, that's really, if you're a good program, you're not throwing your true freshman guy out there expecting, you know, things out of him. You want him to have a chance to get his feet on the ground and kind of learn. So, I know Peyton Thorne had played a couple of years at Michigan State, but still, you're learning a whole new system and you're in a new environment, everything like that. Sometimes we have unrealistic expectations, and so maybe you'll see a little bit more veteran leader out of Peyton Thorne in this 8-day game. Yeah, we do.
We hope so.
Be nice. We're just pulling for the best guy to win the job. It doesn't matter who it is. Okay, up against our final break of the show. One final segment coming up right after this.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
When drinking, take a sober ride home, not someone's life. Alabama has a code of the road, and knowing it helps you follow it. This is a message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
At Russell Medical, we're proud of our exceptional nurses, like Nurse Brandy Worthy. Brandy represents the selfless, compassionate clinical leader patients expect and coworkers admire. Brandy was recently honored with the Nightingale Award for Nursing Excellence for her high standards, sound judgment, and caring manner. Her passion for her profession inspires us all.
Being a nurse is not just what you do, it's who you are. I'm proud to be a part of the nursing team at Russell Medical. We are the link between all hospital services, providing you with exceptional, personalized care.
If you're tired of the same old and you're hungry for something really good, then it's time to go to JR's Sports Bar and Grill. JR's has the best fingers and wings around, and their menu is loaded with appetizers, burgers, salads, and so much more. Follow JR's on their Facebook to keep up with their live music events and drink specials. And if after a long day you just want to stay in, remember JR's delivers. Call in your order at 256-329-2328. JR Sports Bar and Grill, 145 Alabama Street in Alexander City.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Main Street Family Care offers a wide array of services that allows them to treat many conditions, and they also offer primary care. In addition to these services, they also offer DOT physical exams, lab testing, sports physicals, and vaccines. They accept most major insurance plans, including Medicaid. Main Street Family Care opens 7 days a week. Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
SignSource is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
Fill your tank, not your wine glass. What? Why is there a wine glass in your car? Alabama has a code of the road, and knowing it helps you follow it. This is a message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
Welcome back, everyone. Final segment here on the Saturday Sports Countdown. Again, thanks to all of our sponsors, especially JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air for being our longtime partners here on the program. All of our sponsors couldn't do the show without any of them. I appreciate all the comments today. Again, been a really good show. Got a lot going on out there. Auburn A-Day at 1 o'clock. Got baseball for Alabama and Auburn. You've got the Final Four tonight. And I'll get your take on that here shortly. Scott had the women's Final Four last night, and now we know it's South Carolina and Iowa playing for a national championship tomorrow in women's. So a lot going on. Hey, we didn't even mention the Braves, and with a little tidbit out there, Braves came back and won their first home game last night.
A walk-off in the 10th.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, you put that runner at second now.
I know.
I like it.
Yeah.
Speedy. I mean,
It speeds
that
it up.
thing just keep going, man.
Right.
And it try to cut putting a little
I
sudden
thought
death.
DiNardo hit it out. When he hit it, I thought,
I
let's
did
go.
too. I
It was
did
gone.
too. But got into it and enough to get it over the head of the left fielder and win the game. All right, NC State Purdue first up, 5:09 Central Time. For all of you getting ready to watch tonight on CBS, NC State and Purdue. Purdue is a 9.5 point favorite.
I'd go with that all day long.
Yeah, you riding with that? They cover that?
Oh, yeah. I think
They
so.
win by 10?
At least.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're going to end up putting NC State's won 9 in a row.
They ain't played Zach Edey.
Yeah, they played some real good teams.
I know, but
I know.
Purdue that big old dude, he scored 40 last weekend in that one game. It's just like, oh, you got to throw it in there to him. And,
NC State's the feel-good Cinderella kind of runnish story. Coach about to get fired. He wins 5 games in the ACC tournament. And he wins 4 in the NCAA tournament. They give him the raise.
Yeah.
Give him the contract extension. They probably won't win anything next year.
Yeah, those players will be gone.
And
Be
back to mediocrity.
Right.
All right, Alabama, UConn. Following that game, set to tip at 7:49 Eastern. Not Eastern, but Central. UConn is an 11.5 point favorite over the Tide.
All right. The ground's shaking. I'm going with the Tide on this game.
Really?
I think they win.
You think Alabama knocks UConn off?
It's killing me. It's killing me. Sorry, Alabama
Are you trying to
fans.
use reverse psychology? Is that what you're trying to do?
It may be, but it may be working.
You really
on me.
think Alabama's going to beat UConn?
I mean, they're shooting so well. If they continue to shoot well, they're going to win. If not, it's over.
Yeah.
But I think they shoot well.
You think they shoot well? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not
it's
saying
all
they
about
can't.
Clark. It's all about Clark.
Clark can shoot threes.
Yeah.
He's on the right team.
I know.
For sure. Look, I think Luke said it. I mean, it's a tall task. Hey, look, that's why they roll the ball out there. They don't play it on paper.
That's right.
So, we'll see how it all plays out. First time ever for Alabama in school history to be in the Final Four.
Sears is so consistent. He doesn't get too hyped up. He doesn't get too down.
Right.
He leads the team out there. And they just got that Stevenson guy came off the bench last week and hit 5 threes off the bench.
Ryland Griffin really is the guy for me for them.
Yeah.
Will they have Reitzel back? If he's back, that adds a whole nother element.
I don't know if he's going to be back. I mean, they're doing well without him. So you just throw him out there and go.
They did well with him too. He was their leading 3-point shooter. But anyway, however they've navigated it, whatever. These are the Final Four teams. To me, you throw everything out to this point. It's just it's down to the game in front of you,
right.
And that's you've made it. So you make it to the Final Four.
So here we go. The prediction. What kind of call is going to sway the game in the last 6 seconds of the game?
Will it be down to the last 6 seconds?
It could be. I mean, we've seen it last night.
Look, and I know it sounds like a homer and we got to get out.
Yeah.
But could you end a Final Four game in worse fashion than
the 19
fouling, calling a foul with basically 0 seconds and sending a guy to the free throw line to end the game like that? Now, if Kyle Guy hits the 3 in the corner, kudos.
Right.
He win. I mean, but that we're gonna put the guy at the line,
right?
And just that's how we're gonna win the game. I mean. Anyway,
the conspiracy theorists, they don't like Bruce Pearl. They don't like Auburn. The world's against us.
That's right. And we're going to stick with that, right?
But UConn last night.
Hey, Oregon says they didn't. They weren't any conspiracy theorists that night.
No, I guess.
Then the Florida State fans like, yeah, maybe so.
Maybe so.
Anyway, we've had plenty of heartbreak. We've had some good times too. So all right, that's going to wrap it up for this edition of the Saturday Sports Countdown. We'll be back with you next week for another week long of our program in Auburn Blitz Monday through Friday, Sports Blitz Live on Tuesday night, along with Late March Sports Roundup, and of course we'll be back here with you next Saturday for another edition of Saturday Sports Countdown. Everybody have a great weekend out there. Enjoy yourselves. For Scott Blake, I'm Brett Pritchard saying we've enjoyed it. We'll help you out. See you next time.
Bye bye.
If you listen carefully, you'll hear the roads of Alabama calling, and Sarah Honda has your answer. Serving you for over 40 years with one of the largest Honda and pre-owned inventories in the state and the Sarah Promise. Our best deal when you buy or trade, a 72-hour exchange policy, a no-hassle trade-in promise. Written offers are good for 7 days. And our best service promise. Our factory-certified technicians help keep your vehicle running smoothly. That's why Alabama can be yours to discover in a new vehicle from Sarah Honda in Sylacauga.
Farmers and Merchants Bank of Dadeville is building a foundation of strength and trust in the entire Lake Martin community. With our modern branch in Dadeville and caring, attentive staff, we've established Farmers and Merchants Bank as a reliable friend to your banking needs. Whether it's just a savings or checking account or any commercial, auto, or real estate loan, Farmers has local decision-making to build a relationship with you and your needs. Farmers and Merchants Community Bank. Strength, service, community.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen-printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
This is Kalijah Country, Lake Martin's best country. Kalijah Country 97.5.
Country look good on you. Tearing up an old two-lane too. Way down in Alabama, where they love mid-South. Trying to write a song, the local country station will play.
Lake Martin's best country. Kalijah Country 97.5.
There's a new standard for the marine industry on Lake Martin, being set by Momentum Marine Lake Martin. Momentum Marine is located at the Blue Creek Bridge on Highway 49 South. Stop by soon and meet Les and the staff. While you're here, take a look at our extensive line of boats. Momentum Marine carries Crest, Manitou, Centurion, Monterey, and Robalo boats. Whatever your boating needs or dreams, the pros in Momentum will help you find the perfect boat. Be sure to ask about our brand new rental fleet. Stop by Momentum soon and experience the difference. Let Momentum Marine show you how to experience freedom on the water.
Are you waking up in the morning with a sore jaw, headaches, maybe even ringing in your ears, all because you're grinding and clenching your teeth at night? That's exactly what was going on with me. That's when I found this, the Sportz Night Guard. Now the Sportz Night Guard redirects the bite force away from the back teeth, reducing jaw pain while still protecting the teeth. This unique design is what makes Sportz Night Guard different from all other traditional grind guards. Go to BruxNightGuard.com and order yours today.